Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the final map here at the GG.Bet New York Invitational. It's been a blast, and while OpTic and forZe are our last two teams, and they've split maps. It is OpTic walking away with that last one, Mirage. They split their map picks, which is a little bit unusual, but we find ourselves on the final one. It's going to be Overpass.
Yeah, and at least they kept it as close as possible for the two first ones, so I guess it could have gone either way on either Nuke or Mirage, but...
Wasting no time.
Yeah, wasting no time, as you said. We're into Overpass, and if I had to hold a small favorite, I would lean the way of forZe, simply just of their previous results, I suppose, in the Invitational. It's been looking indomitable, but you've said they've been... prone to stumbling. They did this versus Heroic on this very map in the Chicago qualifier, or Chicago Invitational, so we'll see if they've righted their wrongs.
No one has anything other than Kevlar. No utility is in play, no kit is in play. GG.B is ready for the boost, and there's a player right behind it boosting, but they haven't overextended just yet. They're trying to gather info, and Test is going to be the first test, and it will be Almirza, the man who falls. So first blood for OpTic. GG.B looking to hold on, and he's just been a monster on the CT side on both affairs, and FizzCrack will drop GG.B. Bomb planted, 4v3, it's just falling apart, 2v3 at this point. Back and forth we go, and Config is on the spot. FizzCrack picks that up as well. That's his 4K, he's looking for the Ace. It's MSL on his own into a 1v2.
Now, can he really do this though? The in-game leader had such a good start to Mirage and massive impact. He's got to find the first, and it's not planted for FizzCrack here. No defuse kit, as he said, it's all armor. Flit's going to win out the duel as he charges forward. So forZe get off to the great start that they were looking for here. The early stages of Overpass. We'll see if they can build more off of it. Odds here favoring forZe. I think eventually, as we've gone through more and more tournaments with forZe in them, GG.Bet have started to catch up on the idea that they are playing some really solid Counter-Strike.
Smoke goes in towards the toilets. MSL, he's here with the scout. We've seen him be pretty impactful with the sniper rifles of both variations, so we'll get a chance at it, but he has to fall back in towards the A bomb site. forZe will start to put pressure up towards middle. They need to be careful, because MSL certainly is a player that can step up with it. Damage being received from Nico through the wall, and actually he's been dropped through the wall. The spam comes in as FizzCrack will pick that up. Finally, first blood for forZe coming into round number 2. And if they just want to cross their T's, dot their I's, make sure they pick this up, well, they're going the right way about it.
Double Molotov for barrels, but Cajun's going to make it out in time, but forZe are also dipping away from the bomb site. Over towards A we go. Tess is still tucked away inside a restroom, and that's a nice connection from Config. Able to find a second, but there we go. Danish Deeks coming back to haunt forZe time and time again, and as the bomb plant is attempted, it's just as quickly shut down.
25 seconds, Almirza in behind. This should be the kill that pulls it right back, and MSL, he's gone. It's Tessus on his own in a 1v2. He's got an AK, and he's got a Molotov. That separates it off into a 1v1 fight, 15 seconds. Perfectly played here by Tessus. He's looking for the kill, and he's got it onto Jerry. And this is an early sign of a back and forth affair yet again. A pistol pickups in from forZe, but OpTic answer right back.
That they do. And again, it's forZe not being able to hang on. Danish Eagles, Config especially with the 2K from sight, is doing them in over and over again. I have to be feeling a little bit frustrated. Definitely been opportunities where they could have been in a situation to close this out. Could have been already secured for New York, but the Danes wanted it otherwise. As we get into it once more.
Eagles and what forZe have to work with, and a CZ as well, as Jerry will take away MSL. Man advantage is on the T side immediately. Spam coming in from Nico. Towards the stairs, there will be tapping from GG.B that will result in 1 kill, but it's not enough. You would expect more production out of an M4A4, but at least he got the 1 kill. It will be a man advantage for forZe. Surely not. Surely this does not happen.
We've seen stranger things, Dinko, so I wouldn't be surprised. Question is how OpTic go about this, if they want to stack up towards the bomb side or if they want to spread themselves within and hope that the individuals can come up with multi-kills. Even trades here is going to favor forZe all the way out, especially considering they have Kevlar on 3 of their players. Only Z-Power wants to hold on for that op, obviously. Into it we go. Moving up on long, there was a 2-man setup over towards A. That's been thwarted. Config moved over towards B. He's going to find a frag, so does Tessis. They bring it right back. Excellent adjustment from the young Dane. What was looking pretty threatening has now been turned into a bit of a... Poodle. Doesn't really look that dangerous in the face of OpTic once they actually get into the right positioning. So 2-1 for OpTic early on.
That's the least threatening thing you can think of. It definitely is a poodle.
Yeah, it's, I struggled a little bit to get to the end there, I suppose.
Just thinking of all the things that are least threatening.
Potentially terrifying or not, well, I guess not terrifying.
Yeah, I think of poodles. Actually, they can be vicious, you know, poodles.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Generally, the dogs that are least vicious looking are generally the most scary dogs.
At least the loudest ones.
Yeah, definitely the most loudest. And, well, the MSL towards top middle, fist crack. He's gone, and MSL will keep continuing the fight. We'll find 2. You know, well, Z-Pod just walked right through a Molotov. And MSL was not ready for that. Z-Pod doesn't get the kill, but in fact, it's Almizzer. Tessus continues to have success, and he's shown that he's a capable player time and time again so far in Overpass. And if he can step up in the last map of a grand final, well, that just proves that he's definitely worth the spot here at OpTic. As Almizzer will grab 1, Nico will finish off Almizzer. I love how we're still calling them OpTic, but they're not really, are they?
They're not really, but they haven't exactly announced a name change. They haven't gone to, some temporary name. WeNeedOrg.com, for example.
Or question mark, as Astralis came up with.
That is very true.
I mean, that must have taken some creative genius to come up with that one.
Well, it worked. They landed in TSM eventually, and well, TSM and then Astralis. I guess they were question mark after TSM.
Yep.
So they landed on their feet, so maybe that's
it's the way to go.
And yeah, partly due to their name. We've seen this boost being utilized earlier as well. It was Oscar that got put to the test versus it, and he handled it pretty nicely. I think it was Big who busted it out. But it does give you a bit of a new angle. Let's see if it actually comes into play at all, though. Of course, though, for the time being, actually averting long. So just going to grab mid control and move a little bit forward up on restroom. Z-Power might just get posted up here to see if there's anybody jump peeking. Not going to be the case, though. MSL just holding a passive angle.
Oh, Jerry. He's on the other end of the floor bed. We've seen the wall buying from Windstrike earlier today. I want to know if forZe have picked up on that. Tessus will take away 1, make it 2. Continuing to have success, it seems, here. And a 2-man advantage is available to OpTic. 30 seconds left. No real answer here from forZe. They're going to back off. And there's not really any time for them to do anything.
No, they gained nothing out of this round. Quite literally.
Yeah.
At the very least, they will hold on to the most important weaponry, Z-Power with it off, but he's not going to be able to reinvest into light Kevlar or anything like that with the time running out. But it's better than obviously a full massacre. Losing everything. So 4-1 for OpTic. Again, great start on their first half. They had, what, a 7-0 lead on Mirage before we saw any sort of responses out of forZe. So might be heading into similar tracks, but yet to be seen. Two forward players that went down, obviously buying up behind this, and we'll see if they can figure out something new. So far, the Danish defense proving to be very, very tough to deal with. It's a very late smoke to throw out. It's also going to send a bit of a smoke signal to the Nico, so he knows he can spam in through the short tunnel, but not going to connect any of his shots. So water control gained for forZe for the time being, but they haven't really committed to anything yet. ZPower still over towards playground area with the ops, seeing if anybody's speaking aggressively on the side of OpTic. They've just gone very, very passive here. Hanging back, not using any sort of utility as well, so that's always going to be an additional issue for forZe once they move out, and might just go off of contact to avoid a lot of it. Cajun's shoulder's been spotted. And, well, he seemingly knew. I was about to say onto the bomb site we go, but that's not really the case for forZe either.
Yeah.
They've ducked out. It's only Jerry left. He's going to swing over to jail.
Yeah, he's kind of been the lone wolf here. He spotted one player there, or did he?
I think he saw something.
It's kind of like Bigfoot. You don't know if you've actually seen it or not. GG.B in behind the barrels, 30 seconds left. Jerry starts to make his way in towards the site, and all the smokes will start to fade, and GG.B's head will show. It's Jerry with that kill. That causes the rest of the forward side to try and get into the bomb site, but Nico's here, and he might just cause problems. Bomb plant denial may be available, but it's config who gets the kill. ZPower steps in as well, and it's a 2v2. The head showing towards heaven, and ZPower's got that as well.
This is swinging in from the same position as MSL was domed from. Has been given real estate to move forward. It's going to have to make noise, though, in order to drop down here into water. That's going to be a pretty big tilt for Flit. And there you go. He's even going to spot it as Tessus is dropping down. So ideal timing from forZe. They bring it back. They were looking a little bit labored there on the bomb take, which took about 30 seconds to actually complete. Jerry just sticking around behind all the smokes and flashes, really doing them a lot of favors, finding the openings. It's a timely answer as well. Money's still enough on the side of OpTic to buy into it. MSL's going to have an op. Cajun and Nico are the ones to suffer slightly. Do have a lot of utility, but also have to deal with UMPs and a FAMAS. Quad boost. It's going to work out swimmingly. Nico jumping to get information down and towards water. He's been dealt with.
Well, MSL will have Jerry coming in towards the crosshair. He will take that kill. Into a 4v4 as a flash goes off the pillar. The rest of the troops from forZe starting to come in towards it as MSL looks for the close angle. He's got that, but too close and personal as face crack. Config at least is able to trade, and GG.B will hit the deck. So 2v2, just over a minute left to play with as Config comes back in. Molotov will go off towards sandbags. And ZPower sits back, he will take that shot towards Config, and it's into a 2 versus 1. ZPower able to pull it back and have the advantage for his team as Tessus will start to come in towards that position. He's clutched so far, especially a 1v2. And he starts to come in, but it's the spray from ZPower that comes on in. And another quad kill for ZPower. He keeps delivering impact across the board.
He really does, doesn't he? Smart move as well to drop the op, knowing that it's most likely going to be charged from Tessus through the smoke, so you stand a better chance with an AK than an AWP. Catches himself the last kill and secures forZe 2 rounds in a row. That also means OpTic are broke on their CT side, so strong start, sure, but it's been negated. forZe are right back into this. You can tell they're aware of the economic state for OpTic as well. 3 MAC-10s.
3 MAC-10s to wield to bring into this as they start to go towards short. They want to go for a faster play, but is Config ready for it? He's got the kill in the P250, but can't quite deal with the sheer force of face crack coming in with 2. ZPower able to grab 1 back, and it's into a 2v2. Molotov goes off towards short.
It's messy.
Very messy, and actually really good for OpTic, I have to say.
Considering the fact that they didn't really invest anything at all into that one. Going to be super happy. Flit down to 28 HP, but should still get the bomb down. ZPower is yet to actually swap out his op, but he's rocking the pistol right now. He knows that they're going up against non-armored targets, but can't quite get around the corner in time, so Tessus is going to get the better of him. Flit now only 2 tags away from dying here. Position's going to get given up as well. The second Tessus moves in. Cajun's going to be so careful about this. Easy does it. Should still be time enough as well to defuse.
That's just ridiculous, really. You know, forZe, they didn't really lose too many of these rounds earlier in the tournament.
Yeah.
And maybe it's cracks starting to show when they go up against probably, I would say, their main rival in this tournament. When Hugo and I were discussing possible teams that can maybe go the distance, it would definitely forZe and OpTic within the question. And I think OpTic are definitely a different caliber of opponent compared to the rest of the teams they've been beating in this tournament so far. And well, you can't really afford to make mistakes; they'll get punished.
Absolutely. They've been suffering a lot of defeats, really, versus the Pistols of OpTic so far. Still somehow in it, though.
Oh, and here comes the boost. Z-Power is going to be looking for it, but the train will come past. No one's really peeking anyway, so he's not going to get a whole lot from it. Z-Power goes back towards connector. And the slower approach from forZe can continue.
So again, it's so important if forZe are going to will continue to mess up these rounds versus limited investment on OpTic side. It's so important that they make the most out of rounds where they find an opening, just like now. Obviously, OpTic's economy is nowhere near set, so they're just sneaking their way through Underpass. I'm getting tired of it. They've given up so much map control, and that's why Tessus has been able to get around long here.
Oh, they're going to let him walk past, but Tessus grabs one and falls back. He stays alive, and, well, he did stay alive.
Spoke too soon. Z-Power's already noticed one man rotating over. That's Cajun pushing down from water. So they know at least where one out of the three remaining players are, but MSL they had no idea about. Opening for the in-game leader. Has to shoot while blind, and ooh, still makes the adjustment. Conflic's in there in time as well, and what was looking like such a promising round for forZe is falling completely apart. 10 seconds left, 1v3 for Z-Power, and no real hope of actually doing anything here. OpTic just making sure they have their rotations in time to make this work.
Yeah, OpTic are looking like a stronger force, I have to say, at the minute. More complete, at least. It's not been clear-cut, though. It's definitely been...
It's back and forth, and
yeah.
There's a lot of small margins coming into play here, but...
As long as you're winning on the small margins, that's going to be the team that comes out on top.
Yeah, this is a great shot from MSL here. The follow-up, really quick adjustment from the in-game leader of OpTic. And again, continuously surprised by how well he's doing with that op and how much impact he's having with it. It's great to see. Usually when you see these kind of transitions for whether it's in-game leaders or riflers trying to make themselves into oppers, it doesn't really pan out all that often. But at least here is proving it's definitely worth it. So op on Z-Power, pistols, and light Kevlar on the rest of the squad. Getting the drop on MSL and the forward positioning could definitely spin things out of control. And Z-Power, he's learned, he's watched the demos, he knows. Jumping up and down on Fountain to see if there's anybody boosted up. Not to be the case, though. So not going to see a reprieve of what Elian did. MSL's going to miss the first shot onto Jerry.
Minute on the clock. forZe starting to come towards Tessus. Try and hold off, and he's been playing very well and continues to do so. Looking for the follow-up on towards Flit. He's done that well. Looking for the triple. There it is, the quad. And, well, they just melt. He's like a hot knife through butter. It's actually MSL that steals one away there.
Yeah, wanted to get into the fun. Mazur left alone. Could potentially pick up an op, but you'd imagine that that's something OpTic are going to be on the outlook for. And easy kill for MSL as smoke fades, and flawless. OpTic really running away with this at the time being.
Finally a pause coming in, but yeah, here's this hold from Tessus. Not exactly the biggest resistance in terms of weapons against him, but it's still, you have to do a good job with the overwhelming amount of players coming in.
Gotta hit your shots.
You do, and play your game.
We've seen way too often that not being the case for forZe, obviously, versus the Pistols of OpTic, so I guess we can't necessarily put it past OpTic to have mishaps as well, but they hold on for now. And it's a big lead that they're starting to amass here as well. It's 2 mini runs, if you want to call it that. 1 for 4 rounds and 1 for 3 here. Set them off at the right pace, and forZe maybe contemplating whether or not they want to buy into this, but not having an op on Z Power, seems like they just want to go with a half investment.
Oh, there's going to be Fierce Crack. Making his way up the stairs. The rest of the troops in behind him.
Nobody's died yet though, on side of forZe, which is somewhat impressive.
Yeah, it is very impressive. I think it's the fact that there's so many smokes and just chaos that no one really wants to get involved here, OpTic, because that's where the pistols strive, right?
Absolutely. You don't want to fall for their tricks. Don't want to get into that mess. And so far, OpTic has done a good job of avoiding it. Falling back to site, holding steady. They've got 3 players over on 8. Should make for a pretty tough task on the side of forZe here to really get anywhere near the bomb site. Have a smoke and a couple of flashes, so maybe Jerry throws down the close smoke for long. They work off of that, but right now he's posted up and he's already thrown at the smoke. It's going to go for the opening of stairs. Here we go with the flashes. Still works. MSL left to his own devices. This is though quick to return for 2. Make that 3, coupling it up with config. And in the end, it doesn't really matter that MSL falls. Does have his teammates to sure up things on the A bomb side, and forZe not really getting close to actually getting bomb plants either, which is the big thing here in this game. Once they've been able to get a bomb plant down.
It's a very different story to the forZe we usually see. So OpTic are doing a good job and seems to sort of found a way to stop this forZe roster from using their strength in numbers, where they usually just bombard one area. You see multi-kills coming in, and that's a really important factor to success against this team.
Absolutely. MSL kind of just stops abruptly,
Yeah,
so I'm a little bit curious. Okay, now he's back.
Smoke alarm going off again.
Typing some vital information in team chat. I don't know. Right.
Maybe just adjusting his chair.
Could be.
Oh. NiKo takes some damage on board. 35 HP left. It's always risky when you're playing around the wood.
Absolutely is. Mazer's going to tuck himself into the corner. Probably going to stay pretty passive around this angle for the better part of the round. We'll see what forZe off to do, though. FaceCrack shooting at his teammate. Not really sure what that's about.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, it doesn't take substantial damage, but you don't want to see that. If NiKo actually strays... Oh, they're going to go for a boost here.
Oh, CajunB is going to go over the top. Doesn't really see anything, though. When the smoke starts to fade, though, this is going to be an off angle that CajunB should at least confirm himself a kill from. There's going to be the charge through the toilets from the T side as forZe start to come on in. Then CajunB does get that kill over towards short with Passes. Falling here to FaceCrack. Needs to be a big step up for config. He's shown he can hold the A-bomb shot on his own, but the smoke is causing problems. He can't see anyone. And it seems to not matter for him as he transfers well. That's 3. And it's C-Power into the clutch. He hits 2, and it's into a 1v2. MSL will send him to the dirt, and it's 9-3 here for OpTic.
I'm blown away by the fact that config is able to stay alive for so long. It's not due to being sneaky or anything like that. Not very covert. Just spraying off 60 bullets into...
Yeah, he doesn't really... it's not like he's being sneaky, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, he's just spraying wildly everywhere.
Still
and
getting away with it.
This was nuts.
Solid adjustment there.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if there's an answer from forZe. They have lost a player. Jerry is gone.
It's had enough. Doesn't want to deal with this anymore, but you kind of have to play it out. It is a New York ticket on the line.
Yeah.
But right now, Tessis, Config, they're all combining for big numbers. Tessis is up at 18 kills, I think. 18-5. He's been quite the terror for forZe here. Really getting into it. We'll see if anything changes up, though. 9-3 for forZe. No, for OpTic.
Yeah.
Solid first half.
OpTic have been looking much better across the board from pretty much everyone. On Nuke, it was really decent performances from MSL and mainly CSGB.
Yeah.
Coming into the second map, obviously MSL stepped up. We had CSGB and Config having some good runs. And I think a player that kind of goes unmentioned a lot of the time that has a lot of impact for OpTic is Nico. He can be in so many of these annoying positions and get you impact kills that can open up the run completely when you think it's lost. And I think having an X factor like that, if Nico can pop off, well, that's a winning condition for OpTic, and certainly he's playing well.
Oh, for sure. And the cool thing for OpTic right now is that we've seen production out of everyone on their team. Nico's had excellent games throughout the semis and now in the finals. Yep. Tess has been growing into his role more and more. Obviously, you saw Cajun over on Nuke being pretty much the big reason why they even stood a chance of taking it to overtime. Same thing can be said for MSL and Config over on Mirage. So everything is working out for them here. And really, forZe, looking at Jerry, he's usually, even for an in-game leader, one of the players who are able to frag pretty consistently, but he's been going a little bit missing towards the tail end of it. One's going to need to turn around if forZe wants to stand a chance of bringing this back.
Damage. It will be Almiz who takes the kill, though. He goes back and spams through towards Nico. And FierceCrack will start to look towards the long position alongside ZPower playing together. Those two players are certainly having a lot of impact throughout this series. Match in terms of kills, but ZPower obviously having a lot of impact on the AWP.
This is again 18 and 6. Might want to add to that. Why not?
2 headshots. They line up for him, and they're both dead. ZPower a little bit more passive towards the back line, so he's kind of hoping for success of his teammates in the toilets. But Tessus has been doing a stellar job at locking his toilets down. And while CSGB, off angle, takes Almiz, and ZPower and Jerry, they're going to have to step up.
Yeah, one of the things forZe found so much success with in the earlier stages was actually trading off of each other. This time, it's just unanswered frag after frag from OpTic. And whatever approach you've had, it hasn't really been working. A lot of this mid control that they've tried to regain, they haven't done a good enough job of clearing out restrooms at times. And when they use too much time actually to set up, there's usually a 3-man defense on the side of OpTic towards A. So maybe they just need to scrap the entire idea of getting stuff done here and focus more on the B bomb site. At least got their sole bomb plant over there, and that might be where they want to go.
Something we were saying about OpTic in that last round was that it's been a solid production out of all of them, right? That is something we've been saying about forZe throughout this whole entire tournament. That's one of the factors we give them for being such a successful team, is the depth that they have across the roster.
Absolutely.
A couple of the individuals were a little bit quiet on Mirage.
Yeah.
Mainly FierceCrack and ZPower were still finding success. Almiz had his times where he was shining, but we always sort of give praise to the individuals across the board from forZe, and they have to show up here in the crunch time, the crucial factor in the final map of the grand final.
And this is definitely when you want to peak in form. There's no doubt about that, but forZe seemingly not getting the memo. So with the forZe buy-in.
Yeah, well, we've seen forZe win forZe buys. No pun intended. There'll be some utility being used up. Towards middle. And the utility is being used all over the place. There's only one player, and that's FierceCrack, and he's dealt with. So really the ghost is up. They have to really show the real hand that is in towards the B-bomb site. Jerry takes the kill, ZPod backs him up, and it's going to be back and forth we go. 3v3. In a minute still left in the clock, but MSL, big flank, damage done, and oh my god, this is awkward. MSL pulls the sidearm, and we will take the kill on the ZPod.
It's the start. Takes a lot of damage forward, but he's going to find Flit as well. So 1v2, Almazer wants to shine. He's going to find Tessus.
HP. Oh my god, 4 versus 3, and it's MSL. MSL who takes that kill. On the 3 HP, he makes it happen, and it's the quad kill that gets him 11. It's 11-3, 7 runs in a row from OpTic. Show no signs of stopping.
Can even see him actually picking up the AK, because obviously that's not something you can buy on the CT side, and he's got plenty of money to buy up and up for himself going into the last round of the first half. And what a half it's been for OpTic, even when it's looking dire for them. Always having somebody step up to the occasion, that time being the in-game leader himself. 2 kills on 3 HP.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. But at least forZe get onto the bomb side. It's much more success than what they've had over towards A. But seems like MSL is feeling it. Aggressively down into Underpass, takes out Face Crack. Man advantage lies with the CT side yet again.
Flit taking Nico away. Flit keeps it even for forZe.
It's actually through the wall as well. Nico's been caught out a couple of times there.
Yeah, he really likes dancing with fire.
Yeah. Sometimes it pays off massively. Now forZe rotate away from the B bomb site. Jerry left alone in water. He's there to pick up rotation or potentially work as a late round flank.
Yeah.
The problem for forZe right now is that they have 0 map control to work with over this entire area. Tess is once again inside of restrooms, and he's been pretty much at any given instance been able to find 2 kills or more. That's not something you can have, and Flit's going to be the first one to strafe into his crosshair, and he's low HP, so that's an easy kill. Make that 2 again. So why stray away from history? He's been doing it over and over again, and Jerry makes his move onto the B bomb site, but only good for 1. And with the rotation from Config being in a time, there's no hope of finding a 4th round for forZe.
This is going to be a very lackluster way to finish the New York Invitational. If this is the way it continues in the second half, forZe are going to have to step up. It's been a quiet performance from Jerry across a couple of these maps at this point, perhaps starting to struggle and really having to think about the calls a little bit more, because it's very easy when your team are just sort of steamrolling everyone if you're in-game leader, and you can just join in that success, right? Because there's not a whole lot you have to think about if the one strat you've called is working over and over again.
If you can run defaults every single round and you're winning off of pickoffs, then there's not a whole lot to work with here. We see the clutch coming out from MSL. 3 HP. Eventually we'll win out the 1v2.
Yeah. Good stuff from him. And it will be 12-3. OpTic 1.05 to that of 8.51 of forZe.
It's been a while since we've seen forZe that.
Yeah.
I guess unfavored, but makes sense. OpTic have been playing an excellent first half here on Overpass. We'll see if they can carry that on into their T side. No real reason to start doubting them now. See utility being picked up on Cajun and MSL. Smoke, Molotov, and 2 flashes. No defuse kit noticeably on forZe.
It's going to take a mammoth of a comeback here for forZe, but OpTic want to put the nails in the coffin. They're going to go fast in towards the short position. Almeza is here. He's got backup as well with his teammate. And utility is being used up. Jerry can't get anything done, but Flit will. He's got a headshot. Still even. 4v4 as Tessis runs into the side, but it's MSL who picks off the kill. Tessis gets one of his own finally. But Z-Power needs the clutch. He's got the first kill into the 1v4, but still 3 more players to find. And OpTic have done this so many times.
Yeah.
They just do this every single time they get onto the B-bomb site.
Well, they've got full control over where the remaining players on forZe are at any given time and take full advantage of it. Makes the retake for Z-Power that much harder, and he's probably not going to be expecting the angle. Well, it spots out MSL, but spies time. 30 seconds to go. No kid, as we mentioned, and he still has 2 players to find. Tessis aware. What a game he's having. 26 kills, 8 deaths, and 154 ADR. He's really come up big when OpTic needed it the most here. And with them securing the pistol round, we might be looking at our next New York qualifier. Or qualifiant?
Well,
our invitational winner.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's technically an invitational, so we don't have to even worry about that word.
Yeah.
So it is 13-3. OpTic, it's just been a different level here in this final. In these last 2 maps.
This map, I should say, because it's been close affairs on Nuke and Mirage leading up to this.
Yeah.
forZe kind of going to be kicking themselves for giving up a fair few pistol rounds to, well, not just pistol rounds, but actually 4 spies to OpTic on the 2 previous ones. Definitely had their opportunities to close this out in a 2-0 fashion, and now that we've gotten into Overpass, it's pretty much been all about OpTic. Now their stack is from forZe over towards the B bomb site, and that's the right call, but weaponry not really doing them any good. Split's going to make the most out of it at the very least. Finds himself 2. Almazer nets 1 with the HE as well. 1v2 for Z-Power. Can still do some significant damage here. Bomb's going to go down though. MSL at 12 HP.
Z-Power. At least he's got 100 HP. He drops in towards the water pit. He'll start to move forward. Both players positioned on short. He's got a kit, so he's got time to play with. He's really checking these angles. He's letting it run dry. There's no real margin for error. He'll go towards the bomb, and MSL will peak. It's 14-3. 2 away from OpTic, taking the win here on Overpass. We know this isn't always the best map for forZe, but we do see times where they do perform on it. And it seems to be one they're willing to let through, but it's one they certainly don't specialize on.
No, they haven't necessarily been the most consistent performer on it. But it's a bit of a sad affair to see them having one of their, I guess, heavier downsides and, well, lackluster performances at a time like this. Pauses come in, but forZe, do you really have anything to fight back with at this stage? It's going to be obviously a full buy on the side of OpTic. They're not really too worried about what's going on the forZe side. They know that it's not going to be the best of buys, even if they were to force in here. And if you're forced, you can't really afford to put yourself in a position where you get an op on Z-Power.
Well, the music is for the OpTic party. It's getting ready. And I think, like I said earlier in the tournament, it'd be nice to see both teams in this final reach a big event.
Absolutely.
Because we haven't seen these names on a stage. You know, MSL, Config, CajunB, they're no strangers to that stage, right? And we just haven't seen them play at big events in a long time, so it'll be nice to see them finally there again.
Absolutely. I mean, last time we saw them around, that was DreamHack Summer, which they did end up winning, so...
And they beat Astralis.
Yeah, they've had a good track record, I suppose, in terms of the lands that they've gone to, but obviously they want to aim for that bigger stage, and ESL One New York would definitely be a place to do it at. Z-Power back on the scout. He needs to find multiple tags to make this a possible job for forZe. OpTic though, MSL already clearing out. Not good enough for the first kill though. That's going to be Jerry. Game leader of forZe gets the better of OpTic's. Jerry so close to actually going down to that HE. Instead, it's going to be face crack to fall. Config gets it back to even numbers. Look at OpTic, how they're playing this. They're literally just walking about all over the map. Nico's found a frag over towards the A bomb site, while Cajun is lurking about over towards Monster. So, of course, I have no real idea as to what's going on, and it's going to be hard to retake whatever bomb site they actually go towards.
Well, Nico, we kind of said he could be the X Factor, and I think Overpass is one of those maps he can do it very effectively. We've seen him early in the tournament when they were playing Overpass. They were able to just walk up on the bomb site, specifically Nico here, and just walk through the bank and get in behind and cause problems. And
yeah,
I think he's just showing that he's got that ability. But it's actually Tessus who's just mad at this point, 27-8, and that's a performance to have in a grand final.
Absolutely, especially when you're the young gun, right? You're
Yeah.
the new kid on the block. You definitely have some doubters out there who are thinking to yourself like, well, I haven't gone with any of the Fragster players. Why haven't you picked up this and that talent in the Danish scene? But I mean, the gamble is proving to work out for OpTic so far. He's having a blistering game. So much of that work was done on the CT side, and pretty much shut the entirety of the A bomb set together with MSL and Config. Again, aggression not panning out. MSL finds 2. And this could be the beginning of the end for forZe.
Yeah, but it could be the beginning of OpTic's road to the Big Apple. As Almazer, Face Crack, and Z-Power are the last 3 remaining problems for them to try and overcome. And Config will start to spam through. At this point, OpTic need to realize, okay, we're in a good position at this point, let's not throw it away. as Nico will take the kill on the Z-Power. OpTic holds on. One more player. It's FaceCrack in a 1v5 to stop OpTic from heading to New York. And he'll walk around the corner. It just won't happen. And there it is. OpTic are the winners of the GG.Bet New York Invitational, and they will claim that spot at ESL One New York.
Yeah, great confidence booster for OpTic, finally overcoming their demons from the previous Chicago Invitational.
Yep.
And doing it in style as well. It did take 3 maps, but once we got over to Overpass, there was never really any question as who the better team was and who was actually deserving in getting that final spot at New York.
Yeah, best of 3s, we start to see the nitty-gritty. We start to see where the teams deserve it, and obviously the better team will always usually win that best of 3, and well, it was no question. OpTic were the better team here.
Absolutely, having impact from literally everyone on their side, whether it's MSL on the op, Nico with the flanks, Config eventually getting into it, started entry fragging and so on, and as we said, on the CT side of Overpass, there was no doubt that Tessus was carrying the heavy load there. Shut that entirety of the bomb site, really didn't leave forZe with many options in terms of where they could go, and OpTic, yeah, they're going to be super happy about this performance, especially with how they had a bit of a scare versus Big in the semifinals.
Exactly, and I'm looking forward to seeing what OpTic can do at New York, because there's going to be big teams there.
Yep.
Like I said, we haven't seen this team perform at a big Atlanta event in a while, so will they be able to perform at this level? Certainly. I think MSL has been an excellent, again, addition to this team. I think they realized what they were missing when he went off to Rogue, and they've seen the success that Rogue were getting.
Yeah.
And obviously OpTic has brought MSL back, and he's working with the Danish core again, and well, it's back to normal, back to business.
Back to normality in the sense, and you said it at the start of the day, we know what happens when MSL is allowed to have a bit of an extended break to work on his teams and really figure out the identity of it and what kind of game plan they want to move forward on, and I think that this is a clear result of that. And there's no doubt, obviously, there's going to be some time still. It's the end of September when ESL New York kicks off, and that just means more prep time for you. Yeah, OpTic are not going to be, flushed with online games that they have to prepare for and that kind of thing. They can really focus in and hone their craft before going into this tournament.
Yeah, and it's not the end for forZe. We will actually eventually get to see them on the biggest stage of them all. It will be the major.
You'd imagine so, right? You'd hope so.
Yeah, well, we hope so. We'll get to see forZe on the biggest stage of them all at the major, at the challenger stage at least. We're going to go now for the end of it. There's no more breaks. It's just the end of this tournament. Thank you very much for all of you that watched during the GG.Bet New York Invitational. OpTic are your winners. Well, we see them live in September in New York, and I hope you watch that too.